Le cinéma découvre James Ellroy et s'intéresse de très près à ses romans noirs et violents. Après Cop, de James B. Harris, tiré de son livre Lune sanglante, Scorsese et Friedkin ont pris des options sur ses autres romans, Dahlia Noir et La colline aux suicidés notamment, Ellroy, ou l'un des auteurs les plus excitants du nouveau polar américain.
I am obsessed with violence. I am obsessed with twisted sexuality. I am obsessed with jealousy, greed, overweening ambition. I am obsessed with obsession.
Why?
Why? I'm an obsessive person, yeah. And there's a lot of obsessive stuff in my past, and going back and digging into the well of obsession allows me to live with it, to be comfortable with it.
I see. Could you tell us a little bit about your childhood? Where are you from? Who are your parents?
I'm 40 now. I was born in Los Angeles in 1948. My father was 50 years old when I was born. My mother was in her early 30s. There's a classic story about my father that illustrates a lot. And he was a big liar. He was a bit of an adventurer, a hero in the First World War, a light heavyweight boxer who was not successful. One day, apropos of nothing, he tells me that he used to go to bed with Rita Hayworth. I said, Dad, no, you didn't. You lie. You never went to bed with Rita Hayworth. And he said, yeah, I was her business manager back in the late 1940s, around the time you were born. Well, my father died in 1965, and about 1975, I was at a bookstore in Westwood Village in Los Angeles and saw a biography of Rita Hayworth in the window, went in and looked up my old man's name in the index, and yes, indeed, he was her business manager. So that was my father. He was a womanizer, he was a dreamer, he was a handsome guy with a lot of gifts who never really made it in life. My mother was a very square and hard-headed registered nurse. She was an alcoholic. She slept around a little bit. And I lived with these two people. I was an only child, and I escaped into books very early on. My parents were divorced when I was 6. I went to live with my mother. And in June of '58, when I was 10, my mother was murdered. A man picked her up in a bar, strangled her, did not rape her, dumped her bushes in the body outside of Royal High School in El Monte, and the killer was never found. I went to live with my father then, and reading, which had been the salient fact of my life up until then, now took on a distinct focus. Crime novels, anything to do with crime, killing, slashing, murder, violence, mystery. I wanted it.
And that's why you have dedicated Dahlia, Black Dahlia, to your mother.
Yes, yes indeed. About 6 months after my mother was killed, no, more like 9, for my 11th birthday, my father got me a book called The Badge by Jack Webb, which contained, among other things, a haunting 10-page summary of the Black Dahlia murder case. I read about it, and I was obsessed. And I've remained obsessed for 30-odd years.
Yeah. Well, what is your relation with the victim, with Betty Short?
Well, when I was a youth, I was sexually obsessed with her. And I had a friend named Randy Rice, a kid I grew up with, and he was obsessed with Dahlia, too. And we would rehash the book, and rehash the book. And to me, she symbolizes absolute random brutality, savage demons coming into focus. The absolute wrong man or woman meeting the absolute wrong victim at the absolute right time, and bam, an explosion.
You have had quite a dark life also in a period of your life.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes, and yeah, in fact, I'm the demon dog of darkness. I'm the death dog, Ow! Essentially what happened was I got kicked out of high school when I was 17. Fighting, truancy, not showing up. My father was senile and had had a series of strokes and heart attacks, and I was running rampant, stealing out of stores and pulling little Mickey Mouse crime scams. So I enlisted in the Army in 1965. My father signed for me to join. I hated the Army. They made me get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and do push-ups. I didn't want to go to Vietnam. And so I faked a nervous breakdown and got kicked out. And I came back to L.A. and started drinking to great excess and taking a lot of drugs, which I did for a number of years. And I sacrificed everything to drink and take drugs. I slept in parks, stole things, used to go into restaurants, order big meals, eat the meal and duck out the back way, pocket the check and walk out, and did a lot of county jail time. Nothing for anything too bad, but a lot of misdemeanor LA County jail time. And then when I was 29, I got sober and cleaned up, no drugs, no booze for 11 years now, And then I started to write. And I put what I learned into practice and into focus when I started writing.
May we say that writing has saved you, helped you?
Oh, yes. I don't know what the hell I would have done with my life otherwise. I got a big ego, and I needed a forum, and thank God I found it.
And is it important to write?
Yes, I have to write. Yeah. Cat's got a scratch, and dog's got a bite, and I got to write. Yeah.